This is unpleasant business. On the one hand, we have a mayor who maintains that voting to give Clifton Forge town manager Darlene Burcham a $3,000 pay raise and another year's contract in the amount of $108,000 plus generous benefits and even a new laptop computer was completely proper, and on the other, we have the facts. And the facts are these. The extension of Mrs. Burcham's contract was never placed on the regular meeting agenda, nor was it added to it properly prior to the 3-2 vote, supposedly to approve it. Why is this? As the mayor told me Saturday, right after he went postal and told me to shove my opinions up my rectum, and I'm leaving out the best insults, he doesn't make up the agenda. Darlene Burcham does. So here we have the totally ridiculous situation wherein the person responsible for making the agenda is the same person benefiting from an item that rightly should have been on it, but wasn't. Both Burcham and Mayor Brinkley knew about this totally sleazeball arrangement and to date have hoped that this would all go away. Well, it's not going away. It is and was wrong, and it needs to be addressed right now. In the meantime, I need to inform the mayor that I don't need any additional items shoved into my body. I'm packed just fine as it is, thank you. I could have suggested the same thing to him, but that's not the part of his body I think needs attention. It's his head I'm worried about, and he's not been thinking very clearly these days. First, let me deal with the pay issue, since I have not yet addressed it fully. About a month ago, the town's finance director expressed her concern about the low state of the town's fund balance, clearly telling the town council that this needed to be addressed. And what is the reaction of the majority of town council? They soon then vote to give the town manager a $3,000 raise. When you add benefits to it, that's almost like spending another $5,000. Anybody, even the most naive business person, can tell you that the very last thing you do when you don't have a lot of cash on hand is to increase payroll, because so many additional costs are associated with it. But that is exactly what this council did. Worse, by trying to railroad this action through by improperly voting on it with zero public notice, zero public discussion, and illegally bringing it up for a vote with not even discussion on the motion. Mayor Brinkley has made a mockery of proper public procedure and has angered people all over this town of less than 4,000 souls. No wonder why people are cynical about the town council, and virtually no one shows up for the regular meetings. This is a first-class violation of the public's trust, and it is a lower-class, dirtball way to do the public's business. It's not just illegal, it's despicable, it's wrong, and it's outrageous. I have asked the mayor, respectfully and repeatedly, to correct this error process, and he has repeatedly refused, claiming in effect that he's going to enforce any set of rules he sees fit. He's the Curmudgeon King of Brinkleyville, and no one is going to do anything about it. But he's wrong about that. For if the mayor continues down this path, and the pay hike is actually put into the town's payroll system, such that the town actually pays out the money after this improper process, the mayor and those who stand idly by to allow it to proceed are guilty both of misfeasance and malfeasance in office. Both may be grounds for removal from office. The mayor also needs to be informed of two more things. First, giving somebody a $3,000 pay raise while not offering even a penny to the town's workers, many of whom are living from paycheck to paycheck, and many of whom show up in very difficult circumstances to either make repairs or perform other tough tasks, is a prima facie case of abject stupidity and very bad management. Mr. Mayor, these people don't get a fat government retirement check every month they can count on, as some public officials like you get. The sad truth is that none of the town employees, zero, should get a raise when the town's own finance director clearly points out the sorry state of the town's fund balance. Secondly, I want to remind the mayor that the citizens in this town did not elect him mayor, the town council did. And while that happens to be the form of government the town decided upon at its outset, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to keep it that way. One thing is certain, nobody elected Carl Brinkley king. He doesn't get to make up his own rules of order, and he has zero authority to agree to a pay raise using improper methods. This isn't Brinkleyville, but he's acting like it is. Or is it Birchamville? One final note. Ask any other town manager, mayor or county administrator if having a very healthy fund balance isn't one of the best indicators of how well any government is managed. They'll tell you that it is. So while Mrs. Bircham has done a good job getting grants for this and that, amounting to a substantial amount of money, the poor state of the fund balance is, I believe, a far better measure of her management. The town can hire a wonderful grant writer for far, far less money. Clifton Forge residents pay very high personal property and real estate tax rates, as well as very high water and sewer rates. So here's the result. Bircham gets $108,000 a year plus generous benefits, retirement contributions, etc., 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 and the town's employees get zilch. And you call that great management? I call it ridiculous. So the mayor has decided on a confrontation about this on Tuesday night, and I can tell him for sure that he's going to get it. I'm Jerry Clark for the AlleghenyJournal.com.